Introduction to the Memorial. Nestled on the National Mall in Washington, D.C., the Lincoln Memorial stands as a towering symbol of freedom, unity, and the enduring power of democracy. From a distance, it appears almost monumental in its quiet dignity, an iconic structure framed by its majestic steps and rows of Doric columns. As the sun sets behind it, casting long shadows across the reflecting pool, the memorial exudes a timeless aura, inviting reflection and reverence. Yet this structure, created to honor one man, has become a beacon of something much greater, the spirit of America itself. The man it honors is Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. Lincoln's legacy is inextricably linked to the preservation of the Union during one of the most tumultuous periods in American history, the Civil War. His leadership preserved the nation and redefined its ideals, steering it toward the path of freedom and equality. But what most people don't realize is that the Lincoln Memorial, though conceived as a tribute to a singular leader, is also an embodiment of the values Lincoln fought for, values that continue to shape the country's identity even today. Built at a time when the nation had long been divided by racial and social tensions, the memorial stands as both a monument to Lincoln's achievements and a reminder of the struggles still facing the country. The story of the memorial's creation begins in the early 20th century, decades after Lincoln's assassination. As the nation reflected on its past, it became clear that a symbol of Lincoln's greatness was necessary, a place where future generations could come to honor his memory and the ideals he championed. The Lincoln Memorial was completed in 1922, but its significance quickly grew beyond just a tribute to one man. During the Civil Rights Movement, the memorial became a gathering place for those who sought justice and equality. In 1963, Martin Luther King Jr. stood on its steps, delivering his "I Have a Dream" speech to a crowd of thousands. For many, that moment crystallized the memorial's dual purpose, not only as a tribute to a fallen hero, but as a place where the ideals of liberty and justice could be called upon once more. The memorial transformed into a living, breathing symbol of hope for those who sought change in a nation still struggling with inequality. As the memorial's importance deepened, it became a reflection of the nation's ongoing journey, a journey that, much like Lincoln's own, has been fraught with hardship but driven by the unshakable belief in the promise of a better future. Today, visitors come from around the world to stand in its shadow, to pay tribute to Lincoln, and to reflect on the enduring relevance of his vision. For some, it is a moment of peace. For others, it is a call to action. And for all, it is a reminder that the work Lincoln began is far from complete. This memorial, simple in its design yet profound in its meaning, stands not just as a monument, but as a testament to Lincoln's vision and the unyielding pursuit of justice. Its story, like the story of the nation it represents, is one that continues to unfold. And as we approach its hallowed steps, we are reminded that the dream Lincoln fought for is still alive and still worth fighting for. Architecture and design. The Lincoln Memorial, standing proudly at the western end of the National Mall, is a masterpiece of architectural vision. Its creation wasn't just about honoring a president. It was about crafting a monument that would embody the very ideals Lincoln had fought for: unity, democracy, and freedom. At its heart, the design of the memorial is a tribute not only to Lincoln himself, but also to the enduring strength of the American spirit. The man responsible for this vision was architect Henry Bacon, whose design was inspired by the classical ideals of ancient Greece and Rome. Bacon's choice of the Doric order, a style known for its simple yet powerful columns, was deliberate. The clean, strong lines of the columns symbolize the enduring strength of the American Republic. They evoke a sense of permanence, as if the memorial itself will stand the test of time, much like the values it represents. Each of the memorial's 36 columns, one for each of the states in the Union at the time of Lincoln's death, stands as a reminder of the unity Lincoln fought to preserve. But it's the figure of Abraham Lincoln himself that commands the most attention. Seated majestically within the memorial, Lincoln is depicted in his iconic pose, stern, thoughtful, and powerful. At 19 feet tall, the statue looms above those who come to pay their respects. It's a commanding presence, but one that conveys both wisdom and sorrow. The artist, sculptor Daniel Chester French, sought to capture not just Lincoln's likeness, but the gravity of his character, the weight of the decisions he had to make, the sacrifices he endured, and the nation he saved. The choice of materials, Georgia marble for the statue, and the memorial's exterior, made from a blend of marble and limestone, was equally symbolic. Marble was a material reserved for the finest works of art, and in Lincoln's case, it was a fitting choice. But beyond aesthetics, the choice of materials was also a practical one, reflecting the need for a monument that would stand the test of time. This monument was not to be transient. It was meant to endure, much like Lincoln's legacy. Inside, the memorial's walls are adorned with the words of Lincoln's most famous speeches. The Gettysburg Address, delivered during the Civil War, is inscribed on the south wall, while his Second Inaugural Address, delivered near the end of the war, graces the north wall. These speeches, immortalized in marble, are not merely decoration. They are the essence of Lincoln's vision for the nation. The Gettysburg Address, with its powerful call for a new birth of freedom, and the Second Inaugural, with its plea for malice toward none and charity for all, are reminders that Lincoln's leadership was rooted in a deep moral clarity and a commitment to healing a fractured nation. As the memorial stands today, it remains a marvel of design, a structure that not only honors the memory of one man, but speaks to the core values that defined an entire nation. The memorial's architectural and artistic features are not just for admiration. They are a call to action. They urge visitors to reflect on the ideals Lincoln championed, and to consider how those ideals can still guide us forward. The design of the Lincoln Memorial, then, is not simply an aesthetic achievement. It is a reminder of the unity, strength, and resilience of a nation, and a call to each of us to ensure that the work Lincoln began continues long into the future.